use that bucket this morning. You know, it's a thing. You might be buying stuff for doing your camping and all that, but you know, you got to use it. So from time to time, there's nothing wrong with using your bucket toilet. I got here real early this morning. I didn't want to go in the house and disturb these people. Just going to go over a few things today. I've been lax on the videos the last couple weeks, really, when you think about it. And I'm trying to break out of the funk that I had this weekend after Memorial Day. It does it to me every year. So I'm working on these columns for the fireplace surround. Just gluing these moldings in place. I'm not nailing them in place. And I'm not nailing them in place for a good reason, is I don't want nail holes where you'd see filler. So it's coming out great. I'll get these moldings all glued on today. I'm going to leave the shoe off. All right, that's the last piece that goes on here. I got that in here somewhere. Yeah, right here. Because when these get placed in place, I want to be able to put these tight to the ground so there's no gap. So that'll be the last piece to go on. I'll pre-cut them likely so that I can glue them on after I do the install, which should be Friday. Here's the mantle. And you can see I've got this molding on here, and you can see what I did here now, probably better. I was explaining that in another video, how that's back cut. See the angle here? It's not 90 degrees like it is here. And this came out perfect, as you would expect. I know the mic is pointing forward, so you can't hear me as well when I turn the camera around. And then this here is basically the header piece that goes between the two columns. So I have to glue a quarter round up on here, and then I have to put those pyramids in place. So hopefully I'll get all that glued on today. Yesterday, sanding these out and just getting those moldings on took a full day. It was pretty crazy. This past weekend, Sunday, I went to the swap meet. A couple snapshots for you right here. Funny, right? I also got this box. I want to open this box up and show this to you and talk about it. But those two snapshots, the LGBTQ community, was that the CBs, I think the patch was? What the hell, man? How is that even... It's like the Marines in World War II when they had the Marine Raiders, and then they decided the Marine Corps was already an elite group, and they didn't need an elite group within an elite group. You don't distinguish like groups based on sexuality anywhere. I think it's kind of silly, especially in the military. I'm so glad Hegseth is in there and squashing that shit. I don't care. We don't care who you're screwing. None of that. When you're in the military, the focus is on the friggin' job. The other one was the Bruce Springsteen versus the government. I don't know what that's about. I think it's funny. And then there was some old school rocker recently I saw, I think it was Instagram, wearing that hat. Now, the lesson here just is you go to the swap meet. In the old days, anything I saw that was interesting to me, I would just buy it. I don't do that anymore. It's ridiculous. You waste the money. Now, it's not a lot of money. It might be $2, $3, 50 cents. But you end up accumulating all this crap down the road. What the hell are you going to do with it all? It's just, you know. So you got to stop doing that. But if you have an Instagram account, something like that, you could take these pictures and post them, and it's fun, and it's funny, and it doesn't cost you anything. The box, however, is one of these situations where I picked it up, I looked at it, we're going to talk about it, and I thought about how much time it would take me to make this box, and I asked how much it costs. I do this all the time. How much do you want for that? And normally, it's enough money where I'm like, it's not worth buying. But then something like this, it's like $10. I couldn't... First of all, there's more than $10 of material here. And there's no way I can make this for $10. It would cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars for me to make a box like this. So that blows my mind when people give away things, basically, that are made by hand. So I don't need it. Don't really have a use for it. Maybe I'll come up with a use for it. It's a good craft box, I think. I think it's a tackle box. That's the intended purpose for it. So let's take a look at that real quick. All right, I might be cutting the top of my head off here or something, but you know, whatever. So, interesting box. When I walked up on it, it was already open. And I checked its function, and there were some reels and a bunch of fishing tackle that was taken out already. There's some still in here. I wasn't interested in it, but he gave it to me with the stuff that was in it for $10. Now, you see on the top here, It has these steel, and they might be brass, these little, I don't know, like a screw-in bracket. These are slot screws, so it's pretty old. And my intention here will be to make a leather handle for that. Be a good experiment for me. And one of these catches is missing, but you can still lift it from this. I think I can still buy these. If not, I can find vintage versions of them. So I'll work on that. I'd like to use the same system again. So you undo this here, and then this lifts up. It shouldn't pull forward because there's a little lip that's carved into this top edge right here. You see that right there? So that's catching. Yeah, there's a groove here to catch it. That's pretty ingenious. Like the guy that made this, you got to keep in mind, when you do all these jobs, the things that I do for a living, you have to think it out in your brain and do some sketches and things like that to get it, to figure it out before you even start cutting wood. So, and things like this are typically made out of scrap. I've got a ton of scrap material because I've been meaning to make tool totes, wooden tool totes for myself, basically. I want to replace my store-bought one because I keep going through those. The tools keep, especially sharp tools, they keep cutting through the cordura, that woven nylon, which is pretty heavy duty. It just doesn't last in the real world when you're taking things in and out of a truck and putting your tools in and out. Eventually, everything blows out. But wood can last for centuries, right? There's wooden toolboxes that people still buy. Sometimes with the tools still in them, those things are super cool, man. I'd like to have one. But then again, I can make one. So these are just the details I'm noticing. Again, it's got these protectors. I didn't even notice that this has like a shiny piece of brass inlay in it, which is pretty cool. We see piano hinges here, and we got the protectors on the bottom, which is nice because it keeps the bottom of the box from being scuffed up. So back to this, we lift the top. There's storage in the lid. Crazy. You turn these little clips sideways, and they got these little leather pulls, and you've got this. Now this will open and kind of sit here like this, which is, it's not the best thing to be doing. That's a lot of stress on the screws that hold the piano hinge into the box itself. But you can do this and open this up, and look, there is a... It doesn't smell fishy because it's too old, but look, I didn't even see this. There's a bunch of... people buy vintage fishing stuff, don't they? So this is a cod rig, size 4. So these are what you call leaders, these big hooks. This is Penguin brand. Korea, made in Korea. It's a Glendale, California company. This is probably worth money to some angler, some fishing person. Pretty cool. I just thought that was super neat. Takes a lot of time to figure out how to make this stuff work. And again, this is all slot head screws and little pieces of leather. This is right up my angle, man. You guys see the stuff that I make all the time. And now we drop this down in the front. Okay? We have this removable tray here, which has a bunch of lead weighters. Here's the crazy thing. This is a vintage spiral super ball. Whew, there it goes. Just hit the mic. Get it? Okay. Like, aren't they? These things got to be worth something someday. You guys remember the Super Bowl? If you're my age, there were commercials for these things. I was just basically dropping it. But if I was to throw this at the ground, it goes all over the friggin' place. Still working. I got a couple of these. Again, lead weights in here. I'm not going to use these things. Oh, look at this. There's a BMW keychain. Yeah, look at a vintage BMW keychain here. That might actually be worth something to somebody. That's crazy. And like I was saying, there's just a bunch of lead weights. I don't know what this is. We're just figuring this out here. What is this? I have no idea what this is. Steel brush, it says on the... Steel brush, Mount Manufacturing Company, Locust Street, Philadelphia, PA, Speedball, steel brush, 1/4 inch. So I don't know what that is used for. but kind of neat. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's in here. But what I like is removable tray. Then you got another removable tray. And we've got, this looks like a 380 to me, which I happen to have a 380. It's my pocket carry. So I got a round. And then there's more storage underneath here. Now initially I bought it thinking, oh, this might be good for the watches, but it's really not. These trays are not. Oh, look at that though. Oh, look at this. Smart guy. Who made this? He's got these dados in here. Look at that. Didn't even notice. These are all removable. And it's also all coated with a varnish. This seems like a varnish to me, not a wipe-on poly. This thing is old. All right, this could have been made in the 1940s, what I'm guessing. I mean, it could have been in the 1970s too, I suppose. But by then, people were already using Phillips heads pretty frequently. This is a very thin plywood. It's half inch. It's about half inch. Maybe a little thinner. Let's get an exact measurement on there for you. It's a shop. I should have a tape measure. That's what I thought. Yeah, 3/8. That's what it felt like. It's even a little thinner than 3/8 of an inch. And he was able to mill these little rabbits in here and make all of this work. So there's a little rebate all the way around here that locks into the rebate here, so that it's not airtight, but it's pretty amazing, man. That just all locks together, and then now this top can't shift. You understand? So it's because it's all locked into place with that rebate. Ingenious. Standard stuff, really, if you're into building boxes. But I'll even show you this detail. This is pretty wild. On this removable tray here, he took the time to chamfer these edges roundly, like bigly. Here, like look at this here. You see that? That's so you can grab something and drag it out with your fingers. Really, really neat. Just neat. This alone, just making this one tray like this would take a tremendous amount of time. You couldn't pay me enough to make this. So for $10, the point of this is, swap meet finds, handmade wooden boxes. They're out there. This would be decent maybe for, this might be better for is sewing. This would be a better sewing box, I think, because you'd be able to put. This is so tall here, you could put spools of thread in here or whatever you want. I mean, this is a tall spot right here above this tray. Although, maybe it's designed to do this and have this under here. Maybe that was the intention. Either way, you could do it in both ways. So because I make things with my hands for a living, I respect things that somebody else made by hand. In particular, things that were made. This could have been made before I was even born. I just think that that's neat. And again, for $10, I can't say no to it. And now I've got to find a use for it or refurbish it a little bit. Maybe it wasn't the smart thing to do, right? But it was only $10. You do have to be careful about doing that to your brain, though. It's only $10. It's only 50 cents. It's only $5. It's only $3. Before you know it, you got 1,000 items you got to do something with. You got to find a use for it. Eventually, you give stuff away or ends up in the garbage. That's the bottom line, especially when you kick the bucket, man. Like, a lot of people aren't going to see any value in this. To me, it's nothing but value. So anyhow, I thought you guys appreciate that, and trying to buy less stuff at the swap meet. I just can't help myself sometimes. The big thing for me is DVDs. There's a guy in there, and they're usually like $1 or less a piece. And this week, I brought a stack of DVDs off of his Select in there, and he's like $7. Just give me $7 for all of them. It's crazy. I got caught up into. Do you guys remember this series? It's an HBO series. It's almost embarrassing to admit. True Blood. ridiculous story. It's vampires and fairies and werewolves and shapeshifters. But the story's fun and the characters are fun. But let's just break it down here and be honest. It's all about the sex and violence. If you got a lot of good sex and a lot of good violence, I'm watching it. It's just that's just what it is. So I just finished season 4. I got season 5 to watch. I've got season 7. I need season 6. I got to find season 6 and then I'm done. But I've been watching that. Uh, what's the term that they use? Binge watching it for the last 3 weeks, and it's been fun. It's been fun to catch up on that stuff. A girlfriend of mine, old girlfriend of mine, was the set dresser on that, and it makes perfect sense because that's what her apartment looked like. Like all these places, I could see her touch on everything, and I think that that's pretty cool. At any rate, that's it. Just kind of saying hi to you. Like I said, I got out of it a little bit mentally the last couple weeks. I've been really focused on this. I got to get back to this right now. I got to get to work. And again, I'm installing this on Friday. I should be, and just keeping you in the loop here. You know, it's kind of like a vlog. And if I don't post for a few days, it's so nice of you. Many of you will send me private messages because we're all connected now. The regular subscribers, a lot of you are becoming my friends, which is super cool. And I'll get these emails, or I'll get a note through Facebook Messenger or something. Are you okay? We haven't seen you in a couple days. So now I'm really just doing this for you. You know, the 6 or 8 of you that do this for me all the time. So that's it. I'm excited for Sarah, by the way. She's coming home now from Australia. I'm hoping to talk to her about that at some point, and looking forward to her videos. I have a little inside, but I won't let anything out of the bag because it's up to her to do that. But I was talking to her sister a couple weeks ago, and so she told me a little story about what was going on in Australia. So I'm excited to see the videos and see how Sarah navigated some of the issues that she ran into there. And that's it. Have a good day. Be productive. Be good humans. And thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.